Hello and welcome back to the Cartoonist Studio. I said last week I'd be back this week, and I am. I'm not on a plane. I did say I might be flying past on a plane going, woo! Yeah, couldn't get on a plane. I could find a plane, but they wouldn't let me on it, not on the roof. They said it's very drafty and I'd probably catch my death of cold. Either that I'd fly off. So anyway, this week we start a series of videos about me producing a Christmas book using my character Big Old Bear and his friends. Now I've already done a Big Old Bear book and it should be around here somewhere. And that was the first one, which was called When the Weather is Nice, and that dealt with what Big Old Bear and his friends did on the perfect summer's day. Now this book, and it is by contrast, but it wasn't meant to be by contrast. It's called The 12 Days Until Christmas. Not the 12 days of Christmas, the 12 days until Christmas. And it deals with what Big Old Bear and his friends do on a day-to-day basis, every day leading up to the big day. Now, as with the first book and this book, it's every illustration is a double page spread. And you have a simple 4-line verse, 2 lines on one side, 2 lines on the other, and it's a verse about that day. And then you're the next day, and so on and so on and so forth until you get to Christmas Day. I've already written it, so that process is done. I may talk about that during one of the other videos, the process behind that. But other than that, it's just me producing it. I won't do every single illustration. That's going to be a bit boring, I should imagine. But I will be picking a few of the illustrations, more of the simpler ones, should we say. Because generally they're quite involved, so as the kids have a lot to look at in those pictures. There will be a little advertisement in the middle between the penciling and the inking, where you get to see what the first book was about or what it was like, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what the second one's going to be like. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's start the first process, because we've got that to do, we've got the colouring to do, and we've also got the putting together of the book and the possibly uploading it. Who knows? But it's a good old project, something to look back on. I'll probably make one of those little playlists of it. But that's right at the very end. Now, let's get on with it, shall we? Yes! Well, welcome back to the Cartoonist Studio. And this is the first... It's actually not the first illustration. It's the first of the video series that I'm going to be doing on my latest Big Old Bear book. There's already one out there. It's called When the Weather is Nice. It basically deals with what Big Old Bear and his little woodland friends get up to in the glorious days of summer. And this one, by way of a complete contrast, it's a winter one, yeah, but only because it's at Christmas, and what he gets up to at Christmas. So it's kind of like if you've got, I say this, rather than the 12 days of Christmas, which we all know about, I'm just playing on that verse and putting it to the 12 days until Christmas. So each page, or each double page spread, is one more thing that Big Old Bear shows you what he does to prepare for the big day. I think the idea behind the book being that if you read it to your kids, it's just a way of building up the excitement for Christmas. So that's the plan. This actual sketch here, I did in a TikTok video. Rather, I did the thumbnail for this. So you want to go and see that, go on to my tick-tack, what it was called, channel. It's called the same thing. I think it's Diary of a Cartoonist or Cartoonist Diary, or whatever the hell this thing's called. I really should have it written down somewhere. I just can never remember. Is that bad? not knowing the name of your own channel. I mean, we've already ascertained that I'm not a professional cartoonist. Whew. Sorry, professional YouTuber, sorry. Right, so what can we say about this? Yeah, Big Old Bear's a character I've been working on for a while. I've had for a while, actually. And thoroughly enjoyed doing them. And I've decided to produce a series of books starring this big, gentle old Edith. Now, there are a bunch of other characters in there. There's a goose with a top hat and a flower sticking out of it. There's a pompous owl. There's two little mice. Do I do it? I think I do. There's two little troublesome mice. There's a lazy rabbit, generally always asleep, but depending on the story. And yeah, a few little things like that. All well worth it. Right, so that aside, like I said, I'm going to try and do, or show you the sequence of events that takes me from the artwork through to the colouring, through to actually putting it up on Amazon. Now, I'm not going to do every single illustration of this series. I'm just probably going to pick 2 or 3 of them. Maybe only one, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work out. So it could all change next week. You know what I'm like here. I try not to stick to the same old routine. It bores me, so it must bore you. Okay. Now, with the original book, the first book, so the first Big Old Bear book, that was lots of colours in there, lots of warm colours, it being summertime. Hold on a second. Should I stick a... Oh, I'm going to be brave here. I'm going to stick a little Santa hat on him. Yeah. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. The idea of this one, now if I remember rightly, I'll try and get the verse for this one. I can't find them. I lost them. Never mind, they're over there somewhere anyway. As soon as I can find it, I'll probably put it up on the screen around about now, so you'll know what the verse is. But they just literally come in 4 lines, you know, 2 over here, 2 over there, or there, or there. So the actual verse, shall we say, takes place over 2 pages, and it's a double page spread. This one is fairly light on detail because I've got to get it in at a reasonable time. This is a YouTube video. With the rest of them, all the characters are in there. They're all doing something. So whenever you read the verse out to your child or the child, they've got something to look at. It's not just a simple picture. There can be a whole lot to it. And once again, a little bit of technique here. When drawing snow, when you put your foot down, you don't just go into the snow. You form these lumps here, there, and everywhere. Do that sort of thing, makes it look a little bit more authentic. You put your rubber out. Yeah. I would never normally do this on a normal illustration. I just have the rough outlines and ink away like mad. But because it's a YouTubey thing, and you have to know what the hell it is I'm doing, And if you do know what the hell is I'm doing, stick in the comments below, because I'd sure as hell like to know. Yeah, it's important that you know what's happening. Now what's happened is he's walking along, he's delivering presents on some particular day to all of his little friends, or little buddies. And a hole's developed in the bottom of his sack of toys. And they've come out. Now doing this, I decide where the line of the snow is going to be, and I have the presents already sunk into the snow. Just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. I better get the perspective right on that. People will write in. Yeah, same thing again. A few lumps around here and there. Now a little bit on the actual size here. Now this book, printed, each page is 8 by 8, but because they're a double page spread, it needs to be 16 by 16. Now I can't fit 16 by 16 on, this is inches now, on a sheet of A3. So what I've had to do is scale the drawing down, and that's quite simple. There's probably a little video going up in the corner around here somewhere showing you how I go about doing that. Yeah, you just sort of scale it down to whatever you need it to be. Whereas normally, if you're drawing something, say like a cartoon strip, like I do with the ones, if I drew ... those sort of pictures, then I will. And see, I've gone outside there a bit because these pictures run to bleed. So I'll run a little bit outside of the pictures, a little bit outside of the main image area. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, what was I saying? Hold on a second, let me concentrate a second here. I know there's bushes here that normally are bushes in the winter, but these will be orange. You do get some of them, and when autumn happens, or fall, or whatever you want to call this, some of these bushes still stay around a bit. And oranges in the winter pictures, really, really nice. Really like them. Okay. Yeah, I've no idea what it was I was talking about, so I'll just get back on with the picture. This little bit here as well, I'll always draw my trees with this kind of effect. Now what I'll do in the actual picture is, this will be like a very dark blue maybe, and I'll leave this area lighter. I think it'd be quite nice. There's a lot more shading going in on these, in the Photoshop, that is, when I colour them. Right, and a few little branches coming off here. And maybe one coming out there. And just put the odd leaf on. Because you notice the trees in winter's not every leaf comes off. Now I've done the background here because I want the presents to come up around this angle and go over. So it really looks like he's trailing the presents, trailing the gifts. Are you looking forward to Christmas? I am. I love Christmas. I get ever so excited. I never used to. When I was a kid, my father, he hated Christmas. I've no idea. I never really found out why. Of course, it's too late now. But I never ever found out why he hated Christmas. But he did. Hated it with a passion. He used to refer to it as a pagan tradition, which of course it is. It was hijacked by Christianity, but originally it was a pagan tradition. But and you never really found out why. He used to tell me about his Christmas as a child. Of course, in those days they didn't get many presents. I mean, they got like a piece of fruit. That was one thing. A penny. That was worth quite a lot when he was young, back in the 30s, 40s. And my grandfather, he was a tradesman, so he could make things, and he used to make toys for my dad and eventually his brother. It's great. So he used to have a good Christmas, but he hated it. And when we kids left home, because my mum used to sort of like try and battle him down a bit, just for Christmas, for the kids, you know, God's sake, do it for the kids. And he'd sort of like relent a little bit, and we'd have the Christmas tree up sometime in December. But when we all left home, that was it. Christmas tree would go up on Christmas Eve and it would be down on Christmas Day. He's a funny old bugger. He really was a funny old bugger. But there you go. Each to their own, I guess. Just felt a bit sorry for Mum. She used to enjoy Christmas. Right, so it's a fairly sparse picture, but that's what I was talking about, wasn't I? The summer one was very, very brightly coloured, all the warm colours coming in and what have you. Because this is a winter one, so the colours are a lot more sparse. But they're like browns and greens and yellows and deep orangey reds for sunsets and all this stuff. And of course, I love doing these countryside scenes. I love the countryside anyway. If ever I'm happiest when I'm drawing cartoons that are set in the countryside or woodlands particularly. I love woodlands. And so of course this big old bear is like a dream to me. I decided I could have set him anywhere. I could have put him in an urban setting and just had sort of an imaginary world like children's books are, you know, where your next door neighbour is a bear or a rabbit or something. But I decided no, I was going to put them out into this woodland. Now here, you probably worked out, it's just those fields. And this is typically British. So I don't think it happens so much over in America. In Europe, you will, but even so, still not the same way as you do over here. I think it's definitely a British thing to lay out our fields like this. Now this I'll do as a very pale blue, but this will be white, so it'll contrast beautifully. And I may lose the lines. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure on that one. Oh, don't forget to do a bit of life. At the end of this little section here, I guess we'll have a word from our sponsor, which will be me again, because there is an original. The first Big Old Bear book is out, and I did a video a while ago, which is just me reading it, and that's somewhere here on my YouTube channel, so you can enjoy that as well. Right, we've almost come to the end. So having scaled this little picture down, I have to mark it in the middle to show, you know, where the fold is going to go, obviously. And that's when you make sure that there's nothing important happens here. And because I've got lettering probably coming this section here and over there, actually, no, I think I'll just run it along there and along here, because here I want to do a tree trunk, like a tree that's been already cut down. I used to do this a lot on my Adam and Eve. I loved it. and then just do that where the tree has fallen over, gone that way. And all those trees are dead. They still have a little bit of growth in them. Right, there I think we pretty much have the illustration. Oh no, we don't. No, we don't. Calm down, everyone, come back, sit down again. We've not finished. The old Egypt's messed up again. Did you enjoy last week's video? A little surprise there. You weren't expecting that, were you? Yeah, I like to keep you on your toes. Might try and do that again. I know that I'm extremely busy at the moment, so I may not actually be able to do it for the next couple of weeks. The extra one, I mean. You'll still have your normal video, if you can call it normal. We discussed that last week, didn't we? Yeah, I may not be able to produce the second one. It's a pity. I'd like to. I'd make them a little bit quicker, because I am also producing a dad jokes book as well. The second dad jokes book. First one's already out. And I want to do that for Christmas as well. So it'd be nice if I threw a few of those in as well. So you've got 2 tutorials, if you like. I'm also bought part shares in a print machine that does mugs and t-shirts and key rings and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to start producing mugs for sale. So I'll be probably showing the illustration of those as well in the one-off videos, should we say, the ones that aren't the standard ones. So lots coming. Lots on its way, I think. Lots of content, lots of ideas. Which ones I'll do, I really have no idea. But there we go. There's the penciling for the first page in this video series of Big Old Bear. Yeah, so I guess now we'll have the video from the sponsor, and then I'll link it. I may speed that up a little bit and chat over it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, whatever happens, I'll see you on the other side of the video. Bye for now. It's the advertiser bitty now. Now this is the bit that I tell you about the Big Old Bear, the first Big Old Bear book, When the Weather is Nice. As I said in the introduction, this is lavish illustrations, double page spreads, lots of things going on in there, lots of characters in there. In everything bar one picture, there's a little worm that you have to find. So you can literally read the simple 4-line verses per illustration with the kids, with your children, with your grandchildren, with your nephews, nieces, whoever it is that you get the book for. And you can, they can enjoy the pictures. They can look into it and observe things. You can count things with it. You can do anything you want. It's not set out, but you literally can go in there and say, how many characters are in there? Where's the goose? How many petals has he got on the flower that pokes out of his top hat? Oh yes, because the goose wears a top hat. And Wellingtons, yes, they're a little bit eccentric. I like eccentrics. So the children can literally enjoy the book. They can pick the book up and they can look at the illustrations. The words are simple, there's repetitive. When the weather is nice, every single page starts with when the weather is nice. And you can go on from there. So if that's the kind of thing that you like, or you think that one of the little youngsters in your life would enjoy, then why not go out and purchase a copy? It helps support me, and it's good for the kids. The kids enjoy it. It's the sort of thing, it's the sort of book that I would have enjoyed when I was a child. And that's kind of the way I go at any project is it the sort of thing that I would like to read, or I would have liked to read? And if that's your kind of thing, the link for the book is down below, as is my author's page. And if you do go along and purchase it, you have my sincere thanks. If you don't, just enjoy the rest of the video. It's all about entertaining you. Thanks very much for your time. Now, let's get back on with the inking, shall we? Let's go this way. See you soon. Bye now. Did you enjoy that? I hope you did. You can pop out there now and go and purchase yourself a copy and save a starving artist. It's almost a charity, you know. Anyway, I think I said that it would be speeded up, and it's going to be, mainly because it just shortens the video time, shall we say, and about YouTube, algorithms and all that kind of thing. It's all down to views and amount of time spent viewing and everything else. That's what gets you up. So I spend the time on the penciling, which obviously is a very important part, and then I slightly speed up the inking. Not too much, just a little bit, just so as we can get it over that line, should we say, a little bit quicker. And of course, these particular pictures are very involved, so they will take a lot longer to ink. Also, I'm inking with a brush rather than just a normal pen, which does take a little bit longer. So sorry for those who enjoy seeing the whole process. When it comes to the shorter videos, then yeah, I'll just keep them both as normal speed. It's just these slightly larger ones, they need to be cut down a bit. Once again, sorry about that. Hope you don't march with your feet and disappear off in high dudgeon. All right, calm down everyone. I'll try and keep these kind of things to a minimum. Is that better? Is everyone happy with that? Anywho, that aside, I mentioned a little earlier on that I'd bought a half share in one of these print machines that does mugs, all sorts of things, you know, key rings, magnets, badges or buttons, I think you call them in America. And I was thinking I'm going to start producing some of my designs on mugs, and also I have an idea. I had an idea many years ago, which I will be doing a video on soon, I hope. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I'd like to produce it first, because it is something that is very nickable, pinchable, shall we say. Now, I know that you lovely people wouldn't do that, but there are unscrupulous people there who trawl around when no one's looking and all the lights are out, and they see ideas and think, whoa, I'll have that. And they're off with it. Hoofing off down the road they are, with the ideas snickering and making money. And once again, I'm just left there thinking, oh, not again. So I shall get to that in the future, but I'll be producing them on sheets of aluminium. But yeah, I'll explain it all a bit later on. But I have this market stall which I've started, and primarily it's to sell the books that I sell on Amazon. Not that I make a great deal out of it, because Amazon make most of the money. Them being big corporate giants, and me, well, not being a big corporate giant. But I can actually get the books out there. People come along. Seeing a cartoonist in a normal craft market is not what they're expecting. They're expecting to buy, I don't know, hand-knitted washing machines, that sort of stuff. You know, woodwork, paintings. They expect to see artists with their paintings. They do expect that. But not a cartoonist. So it's garnered a bit of interest. Like I say, I don't make a great deal on the books. I have sold quite a few. But most importantly, I tell them if you want to see more, you can go and get them on Amazon. And it appears to be working, because the Sleepy Hamlet novel, not the graphic novel, I've got two out there. I wrote the novel and then abridged it into a graphic novel. Same story, two different approaches. But the novel is suddenly starting to sell. It's selling in quite nice numbers, and I can only attribute it to this people coming by and seeing it and thinking, oh, hang on, I didn't realize you did that kind of thing. I prefer novels, and buying it, which is great. So I'll be producing mugs and these aluminium things and maybe badges or buttons or whatever you call them. And I'll be hopefully selling those as well. Well, there'll be more profit in that, so that might help me a little bit. And it all helps to help a cartoonist, don't you think? Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a little bit of music, shall we? A little bit of background music whilst you watch me fiddle away extremely fast with the brush. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you a little story about the King of England. Who wants to hear one of those? Well, just hang around till the end of the music and you'll hear it. Well, that was jolly, wasn't it? I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I only found that on the YouTube library. It's under the kids section. I was looking for something Christmassy, but they didn't have one. Anyway, never mind. On to the story about my king, King Charles III. Now, I think I've mentioned that my house backs onto a private school. And between the grounds of the private school, or rather the major grounds of the private school and my house, is that tennis court that Cholmondeley and his friends whack the old tennis ball around the place, usually in my garden, but, they're there, they're trying. So a couple of weeks ago, we had quite a lot of helicopter activity in the area. And normally I don't think much about that because I live in an army town, so we quite often get these big Chinooks taking the soldiers up to the Brecon Beacons, a range of mountains, beautiful mountains that happen to be just up the road from me. So I heard these helicopters, didn't think much of it. And at one point I looked up and I saw a helicopter, but then it went behind the trees, so I didn't see much else of it. And then a few minutes later, I saw it sort of landing somewhere just out of sight, but in the grounds of the private school. Now, once again, not that unusual. There was at one point a few years ago when every Christmas, either one of the students' mothers or fathers would send a helicopter to come and pick him up. Unusual for me, but not unusual for them. These are extremely wealthy families. So I just assumed that there was another student there that had got parents who wanted to show off, I guess, and pick him up by helicopter. So I was uptown a couple of days ago and saw someone who I know, and he said, had the king been knocking on my door? And he's quite known to say some obscure and random things, so I didn't really pay it much credence until he said, yeah, he's King Charles. He's been in Brecon. I said, really? He said, yeah, he landed in Christ College. And I thought, oh my God, that was the king. Now, if I'd have known this, I'd have loved to have gone over to the tennis courts. Just before he got there, like thrown a tennis ball or something over there. So when the helicopter landed, I could be on my side of the tennis court. And when he gets off the helicopter, I said, excuse me. Excuse me. You come and get the helicopter. Excuse me. Now, he's a very approachable guy. He's our King Charles. So he probably would have looked over and said, can I help you? Yeah, can I have your ball back, please? I think he'd have loved that. I think he'd have joined in. He'd have probably come over to have a chat. It would be nice to chat with him. I'd like to chat with my king. But anyway, there you go. That's my royal story. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you. Yes, you're all too kind. Thank you. Yes, lovely. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. So I guess all that's left for me to do now is to say like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, the drop-down menu, hit all, and then YouTube will send everything I do to you, good and bad. And hopefully enjoy it. If you want to share it on your social media, that would be great. The more people coming over, the merrier. And I guess it's just now leave you with a piece of music, and I'll see you hopefully next week, but if not, in a fortnight's time for the next exciting instalment of Big Old Bear and How I Produce a Children's Book. Thank you once again for your valuable time. It's been wonderful having you with me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all those people who subscribe, and anyone who's not subscribing, get to it now or there'll be trouble. And see you all soon. Thank you once again. Bye-bye for now.